Here you go. So I'm going to review this video you're looking at right here is last week's video of what we said we were going to be looking at on NASDAQ. I'm not sure at what point we talked about NASDAQ. We're going to do crypto first, yada, yada, yada. Crude, crypto, blah, blah. Anyways, the idea was up. I don't know where we talked about it. Here it was. This was 7 days ago, exactly 1 week. NASDAQ was trading at 20,991. This week, we are trading at 21,634. Quite literally almost $1,000 move on NASDAQ. Go watch the bias video. We said we think prices are going up. I mean, we're going to continue to all-time highs that hit previous monthly high. And what inevitably ended up happening within that week? Well, the week has closed out and previously monthly high was hit within, I want to say, so the day after? The day after we hit the previous monthly high and then continued all-time high. So anyways, last week's successful outlook, the reason I bring that up is because if we're consistently successful in these outlooks, maybe we pay attention a little bit more. This week's NQ outlook, we're going to start here. Let's talk about what's going on with NASDAQ this week, what we suspect is going to happen Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then we, of course, need to check our news for this week. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday will probably be very solid days. Wednesday will probably be one of the best considering we have news. Core CPI on Wednesday. And then again on Thursday. Shouldn't matter as much because PPI and employment claims will be built in to the forecast on CPI on Wednesday. All right. Same thing we always do. We're going to do a top-down analysis. It's probably the most important part of the stream where you don't be chatting here. Just focus on exactly what I'm doing so I can show you guys how you should do this every single week. Now, the monthly candle opened, of course, last week for December, and we are currently attempting to displace over these highs. Not much we can actually take away from the monthly time frame considering the monthly candle has over 23 days left. That's a lot of time. So we're not exactly going to use this monthly time frame to give us any important data, except for the single fact that previously monthly high has already been hit. That's it. There's nothing other than that. There's no fair value gaps. There's no order blocks. There's really nothing else you need to note. You can annotate the previous monthly low. Of course, this is just the next point of draw on the monthly time frame. So I'll label this as previously monthly low. Now, the weekly stuff actually gets a little bit more exciting because there's things that we can actually figure out that happen because the weekly candle is already closed. So with December 2nd to the 5-day, which is December 2nd to the 6th, candle is closed. Now, and I want to start asking more questions during this because I feel like I go off on a tangent and I kind of just tell you guys exactly what's going to happen. It happens and you maybe don't learn that much because I don't actually test you. Given this, we know that the previous monthly high has been hit. I already said that this doesn't mean that much considering we have over 23 days until a close above or whatnot. Previous weekly high has been closed above. So I'm going to move this to the front here. The previous weekly high has been displaced. I mean, the displacement will be confirmed this week, but to be fair, with almost a 1,000-point move, a massive displacement has technically occurred here. What do we think this means? That the previous weekly high and we closed above it already. So we closed above the previous weekly high and with significant momentum. What does this mean? I'm going to test you guys more throughout this because I really want to see if you guys are learning or not, or just taking the outlooks I give you at face value and then using them, which isn't bad, but I do. My goal here is to produce you into your own trader. If you just rely on me for the whole time, I mean, unfortunately, you use me a crutch for your whole life. So Jaden says pump. Bubba says pump. Cozy says bull. Hoochie says continuation. Casino Babies go. It says going to all-time low. Pump, pull back. Huge displacement. Yeah, okay. You guys got it. And don't overcomplicate it here. I mean, it's simply the weekly candle is displacing, and the displacement will be confirmed as this week, as we know displacement is a fair value gap, can close above the previous weekly high or the daily high or 4-hour high, of course. The displacement isn't exactly matter because it's fractal per time frame, but we are up over 500 points, 2.62% on fucking NASDAQ in a single week. And that week high was taken out this first open session, the first Monday, which is the start of that week. was taken out, and then we just continue to move above. So yes, of course, this is a bullish indication of the market. There's literally no reason to short here and or have a bearish bias. Now, to be fair, hands up, I'm only on the weekly time frame. So we're going to break it down all the way to the 5-minute, 15, 1 minute, if you will. And I'm going to show you everything, but I do want you to really pay attention to what I'm doing here is I'm building the bias on the monthly. As I said, the monthly time frame, there's really zero bias right now. I mean, it's still bullish, but again, there's no additional bias that you can garner from it, even from last month. So now we go into weekly. Now, the weekly is telling us with absolute certainty that the bias on this frame is to continue up. This is where a lot of traders get this wrong, is because they think that, oh, we're at all-time highs. I feel like I should short because prices are inflated. Again, if that's your only confluence to short, I wish you the best of luck. You'll probably end up just paying me because you'll be the liquidity at the end of the day attempting to short these highs. So weekly time frame, bullish bias. There's absolutely nothing here saying that you should be short and or having any sort of bearish sentiment. Now, let's have some more fun. Let's go to the daily. Now, the daily, we have a collection of obviously 5 candles from last week, and we'll kind of analyze each and every one of them and see what happened. Now, the main thing that I want to note is the Monday of December 2nd. Now, this Monday, December 2nd is practically what we're seeing on the higher time frame for the weekly. And what I'm going to do here is do this. I'm going to pull up the, if we can find it, I always forget where it's at, bar pattern. I'm going to pull this, copy, delete, weekly, post. Now, I know it doesn't look as clean. However, the daily formation and the weekly formation is almost identical considering December 2nd's movement. What this means is previous monthly high was tapped. Obviously, I'm using the previous weekly high as the example here because I took this fractal from the weekly price, and it has a continuation. That's specifically what I suspect on this daily frame is, as you can see, from Monday. This is the biggest point of information we have here. Displacement. The displacement was confirmed by Tuesday's close. Guess what? High broke. Again, the next day, high broke. Continuation. Candle closed above. We had our only day of sweep considered on December 4th and 5th. Now, after this, the market really did not care about that sweep at all because all that was happening was, guess what, boys? I love... Sometimes the market is so fun because it just plays out these extremely clean moves. All that happened was sweep, form fair value gap. We know there's orders left here at these all-time high. And what did Friday want? Friday wanted a little bit of peace here. Friday wanted a tiny piece of the pie, and it said, hey, if you can fill some of these orders that I didn't get before, I would appreciate that a lot, and I'll send price back to all-time high. And that's exactly what happened. So without further ado, the bias absolutely from every trader in every financial space should be bullish this week. I don't care who you are. If anyone is talking about a bearish sentiment, they're absolutely wrong. Now, last week I said there was a bullish sentiment and we were about to trade at all-time highs. We're at all-time highs. It's okay to be bullish at all-time highs. I mean, theoretically speaking, the fact that price is at all-time highs means that people are bidding at prices that have never been seen before, which in of itself is a psychological bullish confluence, because why would the generalized market not be bullish at all-time highs and continue to push it? This is 1, 2, 3, 4 days past all-time highs. It's one thing that plagued me as a trader when I was very young in my career, where I would think that, hey, I don't exactly want to be involved in the markets at all-time highs. I'm a little scared. Prices seem inflated. I want to pull back. And that's what a lot of us say to ourselves is, oh, we want to pull back. We want to pull back to enter. Well, guess what? Friday was your pullback. That was essentially the only day of the week that tested back into a previous imbalance. So that's the daily. You guys get the sentiment here. We took out previous monthly high and continued. After taking out previous monthly high, we had our first sweep. That sweep produced a fair value gap on Thursday. Actually, this is Wednesday, December 4th. Thursday, Friday. Friday tested fair value gap, and guess what? NASDAQ closed the week at highest price ever seen. Let's see if there's anything else to note here. The fair value gap's really the only annotation I would like you guys to make. There's really no order block down candle before the move up, so we will continue on with scaling down the time frames. Now, one thing I'll note on the 4-hour is the pretty decent collection of the manufactured liquidity going on, and this is pretty low in the range. I mean, this manufactured liquidity is, I want to say, over 400 points away. No, excuse me, it is 1,000 points away. So I'm going to just list this here anyways. It's if there ever is a bearish movement in the market or a time to become bearish, it will be at the point that this previous weekly high test right here gets inverted, and then you can target all these lows. But for now, I have a pretty high confidence that this is not going to come anywhere close, or price this week will not come anywhere close to this level. If it does and it gets inverted, of course, we have a very obvious opportunity to take out all this manufactured liquidity. Now, this liquidity down here essentially was simply just a retest of a gap, right? It was sweep, retest. We already know the 2022 model here, and then you go to all-time highs. So not much to note. I don't even think there's anything noted on the EMAs either. Of course, they support all of our theses. So still bullish. It would be lovely to see gaps filled to the downside, but again, we can't exactly say that, hey, we will participate in the market if we get drawdown. I can't say that. I can't say I'm not going to trade unless price comes here. I'm going to trade if Monday has an orb to the upside. I'm going to trade the orb to the upside, and we trade standard deviation. So 4-hour time frame, not much else to add. A lot of the value that we're finding is going to be within the higher time frames right now. The only thing that I'll leave for you guys to have is this here, of course, which is going to be our fair value gap. Probably the last one that was formed, and we'll check on the 1 hour to see if anything else is there. Down candle before the move up, really no structural liquidity was taken at all, so I'm not even going to list any of these order blocks here either. H1 has the same thesis. We can tighten up this gap now just to respect the mitigation that happened on the H1, because most likely we won't dig further into that H4. Here we can see a bit of liquidity and unicorn setup. Obviously, we have the December 4th liquidity sweep several times. I mean, honestly, a textbook sweep here. After the sweep, we're obviously going to annotate our H1 order block, which falls right into a beautiful overlap. OB plus fair value gap. Sorry, this is not an order block. I am mistaken. It is a breaker block. It's a failed order block. Unicorn setup. So if there's anything to take away here, it's the fact that almost, what is this, 150 points? Let's call it 80 points. 80 points down, and we have a fantastic drawdown into a potential area of opportunity to reinvest in longs, right? Does everybody understand why this area has value? Does everyone understand why this is where the breaker block is? Very simple. I'm not here to overcomplicate it at all. Nick A said no. I'll go through one more time. This area, this is the last up candle, which took liquidity. Again, this is the higher liquidity. Last up candle before the momentum moved down that swept the next portion of sell side. So we will mark this as our order block, which it is, or was at least. Once this order block here obviously got traded through and candle closed throughout it, we then list it as a breaker block. A breaker is the opposite of order block. Because this area has so much value is because of the fair value gap here. So we have fair value gap plus order block. What else do you? It's the unicorn setup. The reason we call it the unicorn is because you don't see unicorns too often or at all. And also you don't see order blocks, breaker blocks, and fair value gaps inversions laying on top of each other. But when they do, it's great because you have two of the exact same areas of confluence. So a move down this week, or at least to start the week, maybe CPI in a quick test of the zone. And a quick test of the zone here, and we got a fantastic opportunity to trade off. Now, I do want to note that just because price trades into this doesn't exactly mean I'm going to long it. I would love to see an entry model within it, but understand that this is where your value is, and once value is tapped, find your entry model. That's how you want to engage upon that situation. Is this is value. Once value is achieved, find your model. You don't just buy value and the value occurs, right? You don't just buy Tesla. Because maybe Tesla's a bad example. You don't just buy, a pharmaceutical stock because it dropped 40% because you think it's value. Well, I mean, typically speaking, a pharmaceutical stock dropping 40% isn't exactly value unless you have entry model based upon whatever's happening in the market. Okay, we'll go to the 15-minute. There's not much I want to note on the 1 hour except that. That was the bulk of my sentiment. EMA doesn't matter here because we're trading so far away from it. Now, the 15-minute is where we actually get to have a little bit more fun, and definitely where Monday's value comes into play here. And the reason this is because now we're going to be looking at session-based liquidity. Don't buy the dip, buy the strength after the dip. Hunter just said that in chat. I know I don't have the chat up right now, but Hunter's exactly right. So now we get to look at what's very fun. I mean, the most fun that I get to have is I get to mark out the mechanical levels, right? The mechanical levels are great because you can't get them wrong. It is essentially not a single one of us can mark the wrong levels here. So we have New York session high, which we're just going to call a previous daily high because New York session is typically the previous daily high of NASDAQ. And then we're going to go to London Asia lows. We'll just call it London lows because it looks like it was traded lower than Asia did. A pretty, this is actually a, this is a data low wick here too. This is from a news candle. The first 15-minute, this is December 6th, which was, I think, news, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this is not, okay, yeah, this is non-farm payroll. And this was NFP candle. Very, very important candle down here at the lows. We're just going to, I'm not going to mark it as data low. We are just going to mark it as London low. So we have previous daily high. Got to make sure it's correct. It is correct. Then we have our London low. Asia levels do not matter. I'm also not going to mark these New York lows from the day before because they were a sweep and we've already completely cleared those highs of that session. I think I didn't list the weekly lows yet. They might be at the same price as I didn't mark them yet. We'll mark them, but again, this is the same thing. They're pretty far away at this point. I don't think price will test anywhere near here. Okay, so that is everything we need for NASDAQ right now. Anybody have an inverse opinion on NASDAQ? Anybody have an inverse opinion or does not agree with my sentiment? Let's talk about it now. Otherwise, we'll move on with the session. Does anyone think that maybe we're bearish this week? Does anybody think that maybe I've done anything incorrect? If you think I've done something incorrect, let's talk about it. I would love to teach and open to opinions. Good analysis, good analysis. Okay, thank you. I do appreciate it. Hoochie, we'll talk about that at the end of the stream, but yes, we'll be doing about 30 minutes earlier for pre-market. Yes, so we could absolutely, so swinging lower essentially isn't like, this is a good note here, is going lower, like dropping 80 points in London or dropping 80 points in Asia isn't bearish by any means. I mean, let's be honest, this exact theory I have now happened on December 5th, where it dropped 140 points in 5 hours. Was this New York session? During New York session, during lunchtime. There's nothing bearish about that. So yes, during a bull market, and a lot of new traders can be like, oh, dude, like last week I said the market's gonna be bullish. And obviously we had like a small pullback at the beginning of the week or something, right? Actually, we didn't have a pullback at all, but I've heard it before. It's like, dude, you said we're gonna be bullish this week. Why are we dropping? And it's like a Monday. It's like, you can still have a very bullish sentiment and drop. As I am speaking of this now, a drop come Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday into this value area is not bearish. I would actually prefer this. Actually, I think everyone prefers this. Give us the value. Okay, so there's that. We all know my sentiment. I'm going to go to 5 minutes, see if there's anything else to mark here. I actually don't think I finished the 15. 15, sweep, mitigation. A few manufactured lows, which is good for us to annotate because most likely these will be taken... At this point, most likely they're just taken overnight. Most likely we're not even able to trade these as the next session opens up pretty soon here. And I'm not going to trade Asia or London on a Sunday. So best case scenario, actually you have two best case scenarios. Move up and then an immediate move down, and or probably the preferable move, which is sweep previous day high and then we move down. Honestly, the best one would be, I believe, take previous daily high during like London or Asia, and then we can begin to start taking out this trend line liquidity here, these manufactured lows, and then retest value. All right, my phone's getting spammed. All right, M5. We'll see if there's anything on the minute 5 that can hopefully help any of you traders during 15-minute, 5-minute, all about the same range here. No need to use the EMA. 1 second as I mark these out. Solid line. Delivering from, I don't think there's a delivery above this on the 15. There is an inversion, not exactly the easiest to spot here. Is an inversion on the M5, still not clean. M1, I know taking the weekly outlook on the M1 is not the best idea here, but nonetheless, we can kind of get an idea of how Asia is going to move. Yeah, okay, so without even looking at anything else, I can pretty much guarantee that Asia coming up is going to have a quick move down. Sweep this and potentially come back up for the previous daily high. Again, whenever I do these Sunday streams, there's 2 pieces of information I do not have available for me for Monday. I do not have Asia and London sessions data available for Monday. So what I say right now is kind of just me attempting to predict what will happen in Asia and London. But of course, I don't exactly know what's going to happen in Asia and London. So when Monday stream opens and we're streaming the live session on Monday, we'll have a little bit more data of like, okay, what happened in previous 2 sessions that gives us an inclination to our thesis on Sunday's outlook, which will be something like this, where like Asia takes low, London takes previous day high, we sweep below, we invert something here, and then we take a low down to value. That's exactly what we'd wait for. All right, moving forward from this, we're done with NASDAQ. Let's check out some commodities very quickly. Crypto at the end. ES, do I have anything to really tell you guys on ES? I'm going to be honest, not exactly. I'm focusing on NQ. The only thing to note with Friday's session on ES is no strong close above. Other than that, it's the exact same bias with Tuesday to Thursday, Wednesday gap filling, and then price moving from it. Other than that, almost identical. YM underperforming heavily. So YM is extremely, I mean, it's been overheated for a while considering that the Dow Jones has been outperforming NASDAQ and ES. And now you have what I believe is a 2 days. Yeah, so look at YM compared to NASDAQ here. Although I'm going to like tell you my thesis on YM, I think it has almost zero value to how I trade NQ. YM is probably going to start underperforming seasonality. Yeah, maybe. Nonetheless, you can see from Friday and Thursday how bad it performed. It did not even take Wednesday's high. Friday, Thursday. Yeah, it didn't take Wednesday's high. Do I think it matters for NASDAQ and ES? Fuck no. I mean, has YM ever really mattered in the larger scope of things? No. It generally will do its own thing. I'm not exactly worried that YM is moving to the downside. Could it be foreshadowment of what's going to happen to NASDAQ? No, I don't really think so. It is underperforming though, and this could also be a sign of Dow Jones stocks underperforming. Like I don't know how industrials are doing right now, to be honest, because if you look at our stock portfolio, it's still mainly based in NASDAQ. Small caps about a rip. Yeah, IWM and the Russell, I think they're doing very well. Oh yeah, we listed this a while ago. I can see some stuff we got going on here. Yeah, IWM, we're looking for a rip to the upside. I mean, look how much it doesn't get better than this. Obviously, these lines are a little ugly, but it doesn't exactly get better than this for upside liquidity. Upside liquidity plus a series of imbalances being retested. Yeah, small caps look delicious. I'm sure we'll get some small cap buys coming this week. Okay, DXY. Do we have anything to change our sentiment on DXY? Buy side was hit. We swept, obviously, a bullish scenario on a technical standpoint, because if DXY starts falling like this, obviously the devaluation of the US dollar begins a risk on market where users do not want to hold USD, so they move it into, obviously commodities, legacy assets, stocks, crypto, etc., bonds. So not a bad thing that we're moving down on DXY. We did have a pretty strong sweep as of Friday. And my assumption is DXY, look at this. So this kind of lines up immediately with my theory. Here's the sweep. Here's the sweep here. I don't know if sweep I mean, look, I'm not one to say if ILM is going to work on DXY by any means, but nonetheless, there is one here, which leads me to believe that DXY is to move up this week. A pretty fast, like 0.75% move, take equal highs, sweep again, and then move lower, which goes immediately into the theory of that we want NASDAQ to move higher given DXY makes this move. Gold and silver, do I have anything to add? Really, guys, I don't. There's not much for me to tell you with gold and silver. I mean, just look at the chart for yourself. There's almost nothing that has changed. Gold's been the same price for how many days? Gold's been the same price for 10 days. Silver, same price, the same amount of time. I am planning to buy silver soon, but again, the charts are so sluggish that I'm just week to week, it's the same thing. I'm kind of just waiting for a decision move. I don't want to buy and have to sit 42 days with invested capital that's not moving. CL oil, I say this every week, and I'm sure you guys hear me say it every week. I'm still bearish on oil. I mean, it's going to take buy side one time or another. I don't know when. I've already been talking about this for over 2 months. So considering that, if you're swinging the short for 2 months, hallelujah, you've been able to sit through this brain aching trade. But nonetheless, the sentiment stands. I'm bearish on oil. Some stocks to note. I am extremely bullish on CleanSpark, CLSK. Mind Medicine, you already know my standpoint. Datadog, what a ripper. I mean, we bought this 35% ago in 17 days. Amazon, what do you want me to say? It's the same sentiment. SQ, Toast. Uber is a changing sentiment. This is one that I actually might take my sentiment away soon. I'm bullish on Uber, and I started buying Uber up here at 71. We obviously had a pretty bad news event. I forget what this was about. The robotaxi and Waymo's like introduction into Florida and first to market movers, etc., whatever. Uber down 9% or so on that news. I'm still in Uber and holding Uber. I'm going to give it a few days to see how we react this week, but nonetheless, this may be a cut for loss long. But I do note over here, this happened back in July for a maximum allotted time of 9 days. So I'm not exactly going to be fast to sell Uber here because it's known to do this exact thing. Disney, still long Disney. Uranium, we bought more uranium last week. And that concludes our stocks and indexes and commodities. So let's go over crypto now. Any questions? I just went through a lot. So any questions right now? It's good if there's no questions. It means I'm doing good at teaching right now. Okay. All right. Thank you, boys. So now we'll talk about crypto. This will be a pretty extensive section. We're currently 28 minutes into the live stream. We're probably going to go another 15 or 20. So let's get ready. I'm going to start talking about the main market functionalities, the main market engines, USDT dominance and Bitcoin dominance, and kind of what I expect. I've already given my idea on Tether dominance, but I'm going to reiterate it now. So my idea with Tether dominance and kind of where my sentiment is right now is that the market has been moving extremely efficiently up until the last week. Now I can prove this because you can see just on the chart how efficiently we were moving to the downside. There was an obvious draw on liquidity. And then what happened here? Nobody can say I'm wrong because we can see the immediate point at which indecision starts to occur. There was no indecision up here. However, we can see that the amount of daily wicks to the upside and the wicks to the downside become extreme in this area. Extreme. Can you refute this idea? You can't. I'm just going to answer it for you. You can't. This is a huge proponent of my data point on USDT dominance that I believe that there is a potential burnout period for alts and crypto, and that is okay. This happens many times in a bull market where prices have to retrace a decent amount to flush out and reset funding rates across the board. This theory is starting with this asset here that I think coming up into November, coming up into Thanksgiving, coming up into the start of December, and then finally the liquidity sweep of April 2022, which was, by the way, this was specifically the start of the bear market and the start of the longest bear market we've actually ever seen in most of your lifespans, right? This was a bear market for almost an entire year in crypto. Yes, during the bear market, there was obviously bullish trends where Tether dropped 38% in a month. Yeah, of course. I'm not refuting that idea, but I am saying that the complete efficiency of this curve was bearish. Now, all I'm saying, I'm not here to scare you out of your positions. I want to be a bright light in a cesspool of idiots online. That's truly what my goal is as your coach, is to just give you the data as raw as possible and allow you to make your own assumption. I said this before, but I do hate talking bearishly during a very bullish market. And the reason I hate it is because a lot of people will speak out against my idea here, but I was right last year. I was right the year before. I mean, go check the track record. I don't want to have to speak for myself on my record here. I'll let the audience do that. But just keep in mind that this is happening right now, that you can see exactly where the indecision is starting. The liquidity has already been swept. This is the point at which, even if this was the ES or the NASDAQ, right? This is the S&P 500. I would be saying right now that, hey, I think I'm going to start buying this asset because of the reaction from these levels here. Even if we go to the weekly, actually I haven't looked at the weekly in a while on this one. We'll see if it looks any different. Even at the weekly, I mean, an hour and 56 minutes, you're going to have a sweep here at the lows. And then on the monthly, of 23 days, right? So just saying, it's a decent time to understand that we should probably look to either reduce position sizes, take more profits, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to, I'm a broken record already, but I don't want to get more into it. Anyways, Bitcoin dominance, right? Same theory stands with Bitcoin dominance. I believe that Bitcoin dominance and Tether are going to have a pullback at the exact same time. Why? Well, I truly believe two things. I believe when there is a pullback or a bearish sentiment in crypto after a massive run, that there's only two options for investors at that point. Option number one is you sell and you trade into Tether and you just hold stable. Option number two is you sell and you hold in another asset that you can denominate your portfolio in, which is what? Bitcoin. So I talk about both of these because they're the only two options for most large institutional investors or, retail whales to actually move their funds in. So if both Bitcoin dominance and Tether dominance tell me the same fucking thing, I should probably pay attention to it, as they are the only two options for investors to actually move their funds in the event of a flush. So without further ado, here is Bitcoin dominance's analysis. We are coming up to this daily EMA here. We are within, I think, 2%. I don't actually suspect we have to come all the way down and test this. It would be great and reinforce our ideas here, but it doesn't essentially need to happen. We've already had the 5% fall on Bitcoin dominance, which I said will enact the altcoin, enact the altcoin move. I'm not going to call it the bull run for altcoins, but it definitely made every altcoin move. Now it's been over an 11% drop since then. So because of this, I think that we are absolutely ready for a small move back up. A small move back up doesn't essentially mean that the whole bull market's done. It just means that a lot of long traders in perpetual futures are going to lose their accounts. Why am I saying this? Well, I'm saying this to fucking protect your ass, because I don't want any of my loyal students to lose their accounts in this mess. So with this idea, I think that Bitcoin is probably the safest option, considering that it won't actually move that far down. I think you'll get a maximum of 5 to 8% down on Bitcoin dominance. On Bitcoin itself, while dominance moves up an average of maybe 3%. Retest the daily, and then obviously the weekly is being tested as bullish. So if you think that the weekly is bullish and you think that the daily is temporary bullish, I mean, there's only one conclusion here, that we think that markets are going to drop in the coming weeks. Sorry to say it. I hate to be that guy, but I have to do it every year, because guess what? The markets don't go up forever. The markets do not go up forever. Now, I'm not saying this is the end of the bull run, but I am saying that the pullback is pretty much imminent. Anywho, moving past that, we can talk about the denominated assets themselves now. So there's a flash crash right here. You guys remember this? Who remembers this day of this flash crash? Who remembers that I was also telling you to risk off up here? Now, I could just show you the evidence of the post that I told you guys to risk off, but can the chat right now listen and say that, can you guys confirm whether or not I was telling you to de-risk positions up here. You let me know. You guys were there when I was saying it. I was telling you it on the stream. I was saying, the day of this happening, I was specifically saying, and I posted and said I was selling positions up here. And then guess what? Like, I'm not some savant or I can't see the future, but it's cool that the markets did drop 13% in 7 hours. Now, guess what? Okay, this guy R said no warning was given. He also does not have the membership. R doesn't have a membership. He has no idea. Anyways, the timing was perfect. I would post it on the screen, but I think it's just wasting time for me to prove it. R, you're a funny guy. Anyways, okay. So the warning was given. We sold positions, yada, yada, yada. There was a massive flush. It was the biggest flush we've had since. It was actually the largest ever down move on Bitcoin in history. Now, that's fun and all, but the thing is that was just a simple sweep. So most of the market bounced back from here. I don't think that's the flush. Like, I do not. It's cool that it happened literally 5 hours after I said to sell, but I don't think that is the flush we were waiting for. The other thing to note is a lot of these positions that did hit the flush, I think ETH was one of them. ETH hit the flush and then almost came back to the top side of its buy side. A lot of these assets, like, I didn't sell ETH, meme, or a lot of these altcoins we have, but I do think that Bitcoin is becoming a little overextended here and wants to obviously tug a little bit lower if it's not able to hit its all-time highs again. So with that being said, I do think that this is the time of the market where a move down is most likely imminent. Is it this week? I don't know. Is it next week? I don't know. The way that you protect yourself here is just by taking profits and sitting on cash a little bit longer. That's it. How easy is it to do that? It's extremely easy to do that. I definitely unbanked you guys, yeah. Yes, I mean, the goal is for me, look, my true end goal in crypto is just to keep making more money in it. I don't exactly care much about hodling assets. I just want to make money and then use that money to buy more, use the money to buy more real estate. Hate me for it, that's what I do. So with that, that's the sentiment on BTC. I think that it's lagging behind and a flush is probably imminent, maybe a bloody Christmas. I don't know. I don't know when. That's the one thing I can't tell you is I don't know the date at which this will happen, but just keep it in mind. Into the positions I own. Manta, nothing's really happened. It's kind of just sitting at our entry. I still own Manta. Bonk, I just bought Bonk. I literally just purchased this, I think, last night. So I'm long on Bonk. Looks great. If memes come back, then I'm very happy about this. I'm planning to buy more of it if it falls more than 5% or 10, which is, I don't know, it's still near that entry price. So we have about 5% more down and then I buy more Bonk. Tia, I still own Tia. Tia did swipe a buy side already over on December 6th. So buy side was swept. Still holding. Nothing changed. Meme coin. What a fun one, guys. We finally got movement. I don't know how much we're up now. Maybe 20%-ish. 20%-ish on meme. Finally happened. I'm still holding it. It's one of the assets. While I was selling, I specifically said I'm still holding this one. It hasn't given me a breakout yet. So meme has hit its internal liquidity from July 22nd highs. I'm still holding. I want more out of this. Sol. A now sideways coin. Traded this a few times already. I still think it's probably one of the most bullish L1 assets. So if you have Sol, I think you're pretty much safe in the market. There's not much. I did talk about Sol being one of the most A+ setup coins, and it still is. It took out buy side. It's kind of just been lagging behind, and maybe the market's kind of waiting for maybe the market's waiting for CPI. I don't know what they're waiting for, but you can tell that there's indecision. You can tell that the market kind of doesn't know what to do because it's been 3 days at the same price. Not exactly what the bull market is that everyone was promised, but, you know, there's that. ETH, I think ETH has an ILM. I think ETH actually has a long position we can take right now. If I'm not mistaken, I'm going to mark this up. We are not far from my sell target. I ended up buying ETH at 2,700, gave you guys the signal. Here it is, bada bing, here's delivery. Delivery moved to H15. Not only was it delivery, but it was liquidity, double liquidity sweep. I think there's an inversion here. This is just the M15, probably a better one. Well, give me a second. M5, beautiful. Beautiful all the way here at the lows. And that's pretty far away now. What is that? 1.5? Yeah, 1.5%. So you do have your ILM here on M15. Inversion. Retested several times. You have manufactured highs. Right here. Something like this. Jaden said, if we get a flush, are you looking to buy? Absolutely. Yeah. I'm not done buying. I am sitting on about 60-ish%, 55 maybe percent cash now. I bought bonk, so I reduced some of it, but I'm absolutely looking for the flush to provide me with an entry to buy more. I'm not preferably looking to short. We've hit some pretty good shorts in the market already, but they are very short term, less than 8 hours of holding. So, but this week, ETH to hit buy side, preferably. Otherwise, it's looking like there's going to be quite some waiting in the market for this level to hit. Am I in this? No, I'm not in this yet. But it looks perfect. I usually don't even want to enter positions on Sundays, but I'll probably, if you don't, what I'll say is if you don't own ETH, buy it right now. So if you don't own ETH, 100% buy it right now. Are you still in Maker? Yes, Maker didn't hit our stop. It got close as hell. Is this the right stop I gave you guys? I believe it is. Hold on. Let me confirm. 2085. There you go. Yes, I'm still in Maker. I actually, Maker's all the way here at the bottom. Should be up here. I am still in the Maker. I'm going to hold. So for those that maybe want a position, I'm in Maker and it's literally at my entry. Yes, I had a beautiful, beautiful immediate move, about 4% move at market, at the market buy, and within 3 hours I had a massive profit. And, you know, we obviously held for 2 days now and we're back to entry. So take it with what it is. I still think it hits the highs. Okay, that's all I have for you guys today, I believe. That's Bitcoin, that's dominance, that's ETH. If you don't own ETH, buy some. Soul me. I talked about everything. Yeah, I don't think there's anything left for me. All right. Does FOMC affect the crypto market? Yeah, definitely. It definitely will. Holy crap, IDEX. We'll go. Let's look at some of these. Let's look at some coins that are moving right now. Sushi, MLM, Hive, TLM, PSG, DSR. A lot of shit. Holy cow, it is only shit coins today. Oh my god. Every coin in the top 50 for P&L on the day is a shitter. Also, heads up, this is a fucking sign of market tops. I can't make this up. I'm just going down the list, and every single one of these, here we go. Now we have larger market cap coins. Literally, it's all the fucking shit coins in the market. Oh, shout out SNX. Holy shit. What a fucking mover. 63. Fuck, man. It's a blessing that you guys know about this fucking 200 EMA sauce. I mean, how easy do you want me to make it for you to make fucking money? There's like one confluence. Daily candle closes above and fucking buy the fucking coin. You're welcome. Memes mark top. There's a lot of things I'll mark at the top. Anyways, that's about that. Ooh, AVAX up 5% on the day. there. I mean, look at this. Sure, it might be up 5% on the day. However, it's also up 4% and then up 2 and then up 6. Boom. I mean, so the market's probably waiting for the market to cool down this week. Or sorry, the market's waiting for news on Wednesday, December 11th. Let's look at liquidations and then we'll maybe close this off. Holy shit. Why is XRP liquidating so many traders right now? Oh, it's liquidating short traders. Holy shit. Bitcoin's not even the main liquidating force right now. Dogecoin and XRP and Pepe have produced the most liquidations on shorts. So many people are getting destroyed. Holy cow. Anywho. XRP top blasters in disbelief. Yeah. All right. That's the stream, boys. Anything left? You hit me with it now. Do I use lower time frame confirmation for entry once it crossed DMA? No. No, I just buy it. That's how easy it is. There's an XRP 60-minute episode airing tonight. What the fuck? Why will XRP not hit 1K? I think it would be worth more than the United States economy if it did that. What's XRP's market cap right now? XRP's market cap. Yeah, if XRP had a market cap of $1,000, it would be worth 57 trillion. Hold on. How much is California worth? Oh my god. XRP would be worth more than 10x California's economy. How much is the United States worth? I don't even know if this is it would be worth it'd be worth a fucking third of the US economy. And it would be slightly worth more than the entire housing market economy. Dude, I call XRP a shitcoin all the time too. And look, I'm gonna be 100% real here. XRP being up 351% does not mean it's still not a shitcoin. Guess what, motherfucker? XRP took over 1,000 days to do 3.5x. 3.5x in 1,000 days? My meme coins do that in 3 minutes. You got me fucked up. You got me very much so fucked up. This is 100% still a meme coin, still a shit coin, and it will never change. It took you 1,000 days, and you're still not at all-time highs? My meme coin will do this in 1 fucking minute with my buy order. Also, I got a note, Sir Trades a Lot will be back in the Discord this week, so make sure to make him feel at home. I shit on XRP as like my job, and I don't care that you made 3.5x in a short period of time. You also underperformed every single bull market in the last 2.5 years. So if you're an XRP long-term holder, I don't care what your P&L is this month. You were outperformed for the last 2.5 years. By anything. By anything. I literally mean anything. You were outperformed by, guess what? You were outperformed by a company that is essentially an ATM. No, a vending machine for cars. You could have bought a fucking vending machine for cars and made 5x. Double the profit you made in the last month buying a vending machine for car stock. Now, am I here to make fun of the XRP holders? No. I'm here to make fun of the XRP holders that think they're hot shit because they made a little bit of money after waiting over 1,000 days to make anything. Guess what? After 3 years, considering inflation, you barely doubled your money. That's the truth. That's the truth. All right. We'll end it off with my XRP hate speech. I'm not mad if you hold XRP. I'm just mad if you're one of those idiots online who talks about XRP being the best coin alive, when in reality, it's been outperformed for over half a decade by any other asset. It's been outperformed by gold. It's been outperformed by silver. You could have went to your local gold shop, paid a fucking 5% premium to buy physical gold, and outperformed your investment. All right. Base meme coins cooked, UI too complicated. I don't know if base meme coins are cooked, but I will tell you it took me probably over 15 button clicks to buy something on base. I did say the other day that I think base coins are coming up, which I still believe, and I still think they're going to come up, but it's a completely different trader that trades on base. Like, you don't exactly have retail trading base coins. It was honestly hard for me to buy them. It was definitely hard for me to buy base coins. Playboy a boomer. Base. I mean, look, I think base is bullish, but also, Mr. R, we have to think about the user that's going into their MetaMask, depositing ETH, bridging to Uniswap, and then using Uniswap to bridge to base ETH, and then using the base ETH to put in the contract address to then buy their shitcoin on base, and then tracking it using Uniswap, and then having to call me hard. It just takes so much time to buy on base. It's like, I don't know if it's going to have the same exposure. Sol is easy. Sol, I buy Sol, I send to Phantom Wallet. I connect Phantom Wallet to Photon, and I can buy anything in existence in 4 clicks. I honestly thought I was going to lose all my money like 10 times fucking bridging the ETH base chain. Maybe I honestly took the hard route and just, maybe I don't know the sauce. But that's that. All right, I'm done here. You guys know exactly my sentiment for the week. You guys know exactly how much I dislike XRP idiots online. If you hold XRP, that doesn't mean you're an idiot. But if you talk about XRP being the best coin alive, I'm going to fucking roast the shit out of you. There's almost anything, you could have bought anything else and outperformed the investment you had last month. Moon, XRP. I'm nuts. All right. That's going to do it for me before I have a damn brain aneurysm. If you don't own ETH, buy ETH, my boys. Yes, buy ETH equity now. Okay, while I'm on stream, let me just make these updates. I'm going to forget to do it. So give me a second. I'm just going to post this. If you don't own ETH equity, prob a good idea to start now. What else did we talk about? I'm still in Maker. I'm still in... Do that. Crypto port update. Still in meme. Who just dropped that emoji on my post? Take the nerd glasses emoji off. Thank you. Someone just did it. Crypto port update. Still in meme Maker. ETH. Sol. Meme. Tia. Bonk. Manta. About 55% cash. About then 55% cash portfolio. Futures. Let's do a quick visualization update for NASDAQ. Something like this so I can get my clout points in the event that I'm right again. All right. Something like this. Futures, NQ outlook, down then up, or up then down then up. Either way, up. There we go. That should get my point across fairly well. Willy Wonka, are you entering the ETH trade? Yes, I mean, fuck it, buy the ETH trade. It looks great. Look, even if I don't enter the ETH trade, is it going to stop you from entering this ETH trade? Do you agree with the sentiment? Delivering from a gap, took out all buy-side liquidity, manufacturer highs above, buy-side liquidity premium came within, I don't know, quarter percent. Sorry, that's a third percent, 0.31%. I mean, even if I don't say I'm taking this, will you take it considering the setup I'm showing you? Update for lifetime. Yes, so I'll be rounding up lifetime participants. We have some that are still trickling in. I got to wait till everybody who bought it gets it, and we're getting close to there. And then you'll get the rules no matter. It's been like a week since the sale anyway, so don't worry. If you bought the lifetime and you're waiting for update on the group chat, it will happen very soon. We're just waiting till we have every person. New time for the future stream will be 30 minutes before market open, so that is 6 a.m. for me. So I'll be up around 6 a.m., something like that. We're going to test it out for a few days. The only reason we're going to do it, 9 a.m. EST, 6 a.m. for me. The only reason we're going to do it a little bit earlier is because a lot of moves do happen during pre-market, and it annoys me that I'm not able to catch them because I'm just not trading during then. So let's do it and just see what a week feels like. Yeah. Definitely. I think Hunter's on board with it too. I'll have to ask him. Otherwise, it's going to be me that starts the stream instead of him. He said it's a good idea. Okay, cool. So we'll see you guys a little bit earlier than normal. All right, boys, I'm out. I recorded the stream and I'll post it up into the YouTube shortly.